There's such a lot. There's such a lot of fake information on the internet about smoke detectors. The detector that's in smoke detectors, this device has got a small amount of plutonium in it to basically complete an electrical circuit when smoke passes between some elements inside the unit. It wouldn't work without the radioactive material. The radioactive material does not power the device. Some people think it does, but it does not. It is not beeping at all right now because the battery is removed, and now this particular one is faulty. So if I connect it, it starts beeping immediately because it's got a fault, but it will not beep without without the power. So there's absolutely nothing on it. Now I've got a Geiger counter which I've had for some years now. This is my Geiger counter. Now if I put my Geiger counter directly on top of it, we should be able to see the beep rate go up. My Geiger counter is having a problem with the HT voltage at the moment because it uses high voltage as well in it. So as you can see, the beep, the red LED is flashing right now, and it's intermittent because of it depends on whereabouts you got it positioned to pick up the the millirems from the radioactive material. If I take it away from the device, it goes pretty quiet. There's virtually nothing on my Geiger counter now because it's actually, when it's on the unit, you can pick up the radiation directly above the can. There's a certain amount of screening inside here. The actual radioactive material is a tiny, very tiny amount. It's about the size of a pinhead. I actually had one of these units. I'd removed one of these units from another smoke detector, and I can't find it at the moment. It's somewhere kicking about. I just don't know where I put it. Well, I actually did some testing on it previously, and it does not produce voltage to power the device. There's not enough there. It's simply to complete a circuit with a circuit board that's inside. This is a sounder. This is the condenser. This is the actual piezo transducer that makes the noise. This is what generates the noise. This is the sensor that detects smoke, that completes a circuit when there are smoke molecules in the air. It's hard to see it, but the smoke passes through this grill and sends a pulse to a circuit that's actually mounted on the other side of the board because it's surface mount. I could pop this all out, I suppose. Let me just try and get it out of the let's see if I can get it out because it's faulty anyway, this particular unit. I'm just gonna try and get it out of here. It's a bit tricky. I need to put my phone down a minute, just a sec, because I can't do it with one hand. It's very tricky to get it out. Well, hang on. Sorry, I'm sorry you can't see it. I'll try and stick the phone up like that. Oops. I'm just trying to get the damn thing out of here. It's very difficult. Has it got a screw in it? Damn it. Has it got a screw in it? They usually come out. They usually pop straight out. Oh, I see. It needs to come out this way. I've got to. It's got a hook hooked onto the circuit board. I need to. Where's my plastic tool? Right, here we go. I've got the circuit board out. Right, there's the circuit board assembly. A bit tricky to get it out actually, but the part that picks up the radiation is this black unit. And if you look at the back, it's got a load of connections there. It's actually mounted to a microchip on the circuit board. This plastic can is mainly to screen, it's to block out some of that radiation, but we can actually put the Geiger counter on the back end of this. Let's just put it on the back as well as the front. I'm sorry, I've got the light. Let me move this over here a bit. Hang on. Put it on the as you can see, it comes to life a bit more. My Geiger counter will start to pick up more. See the LED? Oh, I get in the middle. My LED is there where my thumb is. It's not very bright. Just move it around a bit. That seems to be more sensitive right there. Should be able to wait clicking anyway. Moving it around looking for the sweet spot. Right, I'll turn it up, but it seems to be better on the top end actually. Seems to work there too, just at the edge. That's on top. Right, seems to be more sensitive right there. Anyway, background radiation is a lot lower, so when my Geiger counter is laid flat, it doesn't pick up much at all. Occasionally it gets a blip, but I previously did testing on these. I actually had my meter connected to the back end there, and there's no voltages there. It just completes the circuit. But this particular one's gone bad anyway. I can't find the other one I took out of a previous smoke detector. I put it somewhere. I just don't know where the hell I put it. So yeah, this one's faulty. Even with a flat battery, it will beep. I have actually got a flat battery up here. Let's see. It doesn't need much power to. This is a flat battery. It doesn't need much power to make it beep. Let's see. See, it'll still beep even with a flat battery. So there's the slightest amount of residual power in these batteries. It will still beep even if the battery is completely flat. So here's another flat battery. Now I'll show you what the voltage is in these batteries so you can see what I mean. Flipping meter. Sorry, I've got my meter tangled up with everything. Right. It doesn't need much power to make these things beep. Now I've got my meter. Okay, here's my meter. Right. These batteries are flat. Now let's watch this. You'll see what I mean. They'll beep with the slightest amount of power that's in batteries. They're designed to give you warning. So if I connect my meter, hang on. It's hard to do this with one hand. Right, I'm just going to test the bolt. Oh, shit. Right. There's about 8 volts in that battery. Let's check this other one. Oh, I don't know. Turn it around because polarity right. This one's about 4, it should be, because oh shit, come on. Ah! Right, look at this one. This battery says 3.32 volts. It is extremely flat. Even the slightest amount of power in these batteries will make it work. Now look at this one. This one's 8 volts. Right, that's 8 volts. Now with this flat battery with 3.32 volts in it, it is extremely dead. Move this one out of the way. The flat battery, it will still beep. It's just too low to make it go beep 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 beep, but it's still working. Look, it doesn't require much power to make these things work, because they're designed to work to extremely low levels, so that if the battery's flat, they annoy the shit out of you to make you change the battery. That's the whole point. If the battery's flat, they're designed to keep on beeping even when the battery voltage is completely flat. So that was at 3 volts. It's still making a noise. The one that's at 8 volts, which we tested earlier, this one, is still going to beep. But this one's faulty, so but it'll still work because it's telling you there's a fault with it. So I suppose as soon as you take the battery out, nada, nothing, it won't work anymore. That's the whole point. But they do not power themselves. But this has got radioactive material in it. It's a smoke detector. That's what a lot of them do. Some of the newer ones don't use that. They use a different technology. Use infrared or LEDs to detect things passing in between them. They use other technology to detect the smoke in the air, the density of how much air can flow, how much light is passing between an LED, an infrared LED. All of these devices are prone to dust contamination, so if they get dust in them, they can malfunction and beep when there's no fault. So they've tried all the different types. They've tried radioactive, but the radioactive types are more reliable, generally speaking, because the dust is translucent. It doesn't register. So the radioactive ones are actually more efficient because the radioactive senses smoke molecules in a different way to the way infrared and LEDs do. So yeah. Well, my Geiger counter is still beeping because of background radiation, but if I could, you see it's gone up now, look. Now it's pointing directly at the radioactive material, it's beeping a lot more frequently. Move it out of the way. Not a lot. Anyway, even my Geiger counter's getting a bit old. I've had it since the 80s, so it wants a good refurbish, so that it works better. But there's a tiny thing in the middle. It's like the size of the pea. That's it. Get it at the right angle. Get the Anyway, enough of that. Just wanted to show you. These things will work at 4 volts. So even if your battery's completely flat and won't run any other device, it will still drive a smoke detector. Anyway, end of update. Update. No, this is just to do with something someone was talking about in a group chat. I was just explaining about this. Anyway, that's it for now.